Did you know that around 3,000 to 5 million people worldwide suffer from nutritional deficiencies without even realizing it? And most don't even know it.
Hey everyone! Today we are diving into a pretty hot topic: why Barbara O'Neill got banned. If you have not heard about her, you are in for a wild ride. Let's get into it. Alright, so who is Barbara O'Neill? She is a naturopath from Australia, and she is all about natural healing and prevention. She believes in the power of natural remedies over pharmaceutical drugs. Sounds cool, right? But here is the kicker: she has been banned from practicing and teaching health.
That I had received a life ban, and they had 17 pages of accusations against me. I cried. In fact, I sobbed.
Barbara O'Neill has a really strong following because she talks about how natural remedies and lifestyle changes can prevent and heal illnesses. She has written books and given tons of talks, and a lot of people trust her advice. She is into things like healthy eating, detoxing, and using herbs and natural supplements instead of medications. However, things got pretty complicated for her. The New South Wales Healthcare Complaints Commission, HCCC, investigated her work. They ruled that Barbara O'Neill was not allowed to practice or teach health anymore. This was a major blow to her career and her followers, who had come to rely on her guidance. The HCCC's decision was based on the principle that medical advice should come from individuals with formal medical training and qualifications. They argued that without these credentials, there is a higher risk of people receiving incorrect or harmful advice. For many of her supporters, this ruling was a tough pill to swallow. They had seen positive changes in their lives by following her recommendations and trusting her deeply. Barbara O'Neill has been making waves recently because of her outspoken views on vaccines.
Vaccine comes through. Do you know that's often when the babies go down? One lady said to me, the lights went out in my baby's eyes after the 4-month vaccination.
She is really worried about their safety and what exactly goes into them. This has sparked a big debate about how much say we should have in our own health choices and what gets injected into our bodies, including vaccines. On one side of the debate, vaccines are super important for keeping us healthy. They have played a huge role in wiping out serious diseases like polio and measles, preventing major outbreaks. They work by teaching our immune systems to fight germs so that when we encounter the real deal, our bodies are ready to defend themselves. However, there are critics who get worried when people start questioning how safe vaccines are. They are concerned that if more people start doubting vaccines, it could make it harder to keep everyone safe. They fear that if too many people skip out on vaccines, we might see these old diseases come back and cause big problems again. So, it is a bit of a back and forth. On the one hand, there is the concern for personal choice and making sure what we put in our bodies is safe and right for us. And on the other hand, there is the public health side, where vaccines are seen as crucial for stopping diseases from making a big comeback and keeping our communities healthy. It is definitely a tricky issue with strong feelings on both sides. When it comes to feeding babies, Barbara O'Neill has been advocating for alternative approaches that challenge mainstream medical advice. She believes that traditional infant formulas might not be the best choice for all babies and suggests considering alternatives like goat milk, which she argues can be gentler on sensitive stomachs and closer to human breast milk in composition.
Baby, yes, goat's milk is okay for a baby because your little newborn goat is about the size of a little newborn human. Look at cows. In the first year of life, they're nearly as big as their mothers, and they're a bit dumb, aren't they, if you tried to shoo them through a gate? So if you want a baby that's a bit dumb and big and fat, what do you give them?
Her views on infant nutrition have sparked both curiosity and concern among parents and healthcare professionals alike. Barbara O'Neill points out that goat milk contains nutrients that can support healthy growth and development in infants, emphasizing its potential benefits for those who may not tolerate cow's milk formulas well. However, pediatricians and nutrition experts caution that goat milk lacks certain essential nutrients that are crucial for infants' development, such as folic acid and vitamin B12. They stress the importance of sticking to formulas specifically designed to meet infants' nutritional needs unless advised otherwise by a healthcare provider. This debate highlights a broader issue in parenting and healthcare: the balance between exploring new ideas and relying on established medical guidelines to ensure the safety and well-being of children. While Barbara O'Neill encourages parents to consider alternative feeding options, pediatricians emphasize the importance of evidence-based practices that have been proven effective in supporting infant health.
One of the things that's very effective at wiping the gut flora is antibiotics. Look at the name. Anti means against, biotic means life.
Also, Barbara O'Neill has really been speaking up about how antibiotics are being used too much, almost like they are candy handed out at Halloween. Her big worry is that this overuse is causing antibiotic resistance. When antibiotics are used too often, the bacteria they are supposed to kill get smarter and tougher. It is like trying to swat a fly that keeps dodging faster each time. You just can't catch it. That is antibiotic resistance for you. Her supporters are totally on board with her cautious approach. They think that if we stop using antibiotics when we do not really need them, we can keep these medicines effective for when we do. Think of antibiotics like a special tool in your toolbox. You do not want to use it for every little job, or it might not work when you really need it. Plus, they point out that antibiotics can have side effects. Some are mild, like an upset stomach or headache, but others can be serious, like allergies or messing up the good bacteria in your belly. But not everyone is clapping for Dr. O'Neill. Some doctors are pretty worried about what she is saying. They say antibiotics are crucial for treating bacterial infections right. Without them, infections could get worse and spread, causing even more health problems. These doctors argue it is about finding the right balance, using antibiotics wisely to treat serious infections without going overboard. So, there is this big debate swirling around antibiotics, with Barbara O'Neill waving the caution flag loud and clear, while other doctors are urging caution about being too cautious. Barbara O'Neill also got into hot water for saying you could treat cancer with baking soda.
When he would inject sodium bicarbonate straight into the cancer, because cancer cannot survive in the alkaline environment.
She claims cancer hates alkaline stuff, so baking soda might slow it down. There is not much solid proof backing up this idea. Most doctors and scientists are not convinced baking soda can really fight cancer. One of the big talking points is whether she is actually qualified to give medical advice, especially when it comes to infectious diseases.
In my 20s, I trained as a psychiatric nurse at North.
Now, there is no denying that Barbara O'Neill knows a lot about natural health. She has years of experience and a solid track record of helping people with natural remedies. Many people swear by her methods and believe that her practical, hands-on knowledge is a goldmine, particularly when it comes to preventative health. But here is where things get a bit tricky. Infectious diseases are a whole different game. We are talking about illnesses that can spread quickly, have serious complications, and sometimes require very specific medical treatments. Doctors and scientists who specialize in this field usually go through years of rigorous training. They study the tiny details of how these diseases spread, how they affect the body, and what treatments work best. This formal education and training are crucial because infectious diseases can be incredibly complex and unpredictable. Critics of Barbara O'Neill argue that without this kind of specialized, formal background, her advice on infectious diseases might not be as reliable as that of someone who has spent years in medical school and beyond, studying these issues in depth. They worry that her recommendations, while well-intentioned, might not always be based on the latest scientific research or the most effective medical practices. This is particularly concerning in situations where the wrong advice could have serious health consequences. Supporters of Dr. O'Neill, however, see things differently. They believe that her extensive experience in natural health gives her a unique perspective that is often missing in conventional medicine. They argue that she has seen firsthand what works for her patients and has developed a deep understanding of natural remedies and preventative measures that can boost overall health and well-being. They also point out that many people feel more comfortable with natural approaches and appreciate having an alternative to mainstream medical treatments. Keeping track of what works and what does not in healthcare is crucial. Barbara O'Neill has gained a lot of support for her straightforward approach and her dedication to spreading information. Her supporters really like how she explains things and her passion for sharing what she knows. But here is the thing. Without clear records or data, it is tough to really know how effective her advice is or if it is safe for everyone. Some people worry that what works for one person might not work for someone else, or it could even be harmful. That is why many healthcare experts emphasize the importance of scientific studies and evidence-based medicine. It helps make sure that treatments are safe and effective for as many people as possible. At the heart of the debate is whether Dr. O'Neill's ideas could harm public health. Dr. O'Neill's supporters believe that she plays an important role in encouraging people to think critically about their health choices. They argue that too often, people just accept medical advice without questioning it. By raising concerns about things like vaccine ingredients and the overuse of antibiotics, Barbara O'Neill is pushing people to do their own research and make informed decisions. Critics argue that without solid evidence, her advice could mislead people and put their health at risk. They also stress that public health recommendations are there for a reason. These guidelines are usually based on extensive research and expert consensus. When someone challenges these norms without solid proof, it can cause confusion and potentially harm people who rely on accurate health information. It is a tough call between personal freedom and keeping everyone safe and healthy. When you are dealing with a serious illness, like cancer or a chronic condition, it is natural to feel scared and desperate. You want to get better, and you will look for any and all options. Traditional treatments can be really tough, like chemo for cancer or long-term medications for chronic illnesses. They come with a lot of side effects and do not always guarantee a cure. This is where alternative solutions can seem really appealing. Barbara O'Neill often promotes natural remedies and treatments. Now, there is nothing wrong with looking into alternative medicine. Many people find benefits from things like herbal treatments, acupuncture, or dietary changes. The problem arises when these alternatives are presented as better or more effective than conventional treatments, especially without solid evidence to back up those claims. Critics argue that Barbara O'Neill is really good at connecting with people who are already feeling pretty lost and scared. She talks about natural and holistic health in a way that feels comforting and hopeful. This can be a breath of fresh air compared to the often cold and clinical environment of hospitals and doctors' offices. But there is a big concern that she might be giving false hope, or even worse, leading people away from treatments that could actually help them. Imagine someone with cancer deciding to skip chemotherapy because they believe in a natural cure that Barbara O'Neill talked about. If that natural cure has not been proven to work, they could be missing their best chance at beating the disease. This is where the idea of exploitation comes in. Critics say that by targeting these vulnerable individuals, Barbara O'Neill is putting them at risk. She is making them believe in something that might not work, potentially leading them to make choices that could harm their health in the long run. Supporters of Barbara O'Neill argue that she is simply offering more options. They believe in the power of natural remedies and think that people should have the right to choose their own treatments. They see her as a kind of hero, standing up against a medical system that they feel does not always have their best interests at heart. For these supporters, Barbara O'Neill is empowering people to take control of their health in a way that feels right for them. Now, let's look at the arguments against the ban. Barbara's supporters believe that she is being unfairly targeted because she is challenging the established norms and the powerful pharmaceutical industry. They argue that many of the natural remedies and lifestyle changes she promotes have been used for centuries and have helped countless people improve their health. They also point out that Barbara always emphasizes the importance of consulting with healthcare professionals and never advises people to abandon their prescribed treatments. Supporters believe that the ban is a way to silence alternative voices in the health industry. They argue that people should have the right to choose their health path, and that Barbara is simply providing an alternative perspective. A big part of this hot debate is about how much influence big pharmaceutical companies, often called Big Pharma, have on our health.
We had a pharmacist do our program and she said, I'm really annoyed. She said, I'm a pharmacist. I'm not against drugs, but she said recently a circular went out that anyone with a cholesterol level below 190 or above 190 had to go on cholesterol-lowering medication. She said this is just a money-making scheme.
Barbara has been very vocal about her concerns with Big Pharma, saying that these companies often care more about making money than about keeping people healthy. She argues that many pharmaceutical drugs come with serious risks and side effects. Instead, she believes that natural remedies can often be safer and work better for treating various health issues. Supporters of Barbara believe that her criticism of Big Pharma is essential. They argue that it is important to question the motives of these huge companies, because their focus on profits can sometimes lead to decisions that are not in the best interest of patients. For instance, there have been cases where drugs were pushed to the market too quickly without enough testing, leading to severe health problems for people who took them. This rush to profit can sometimes mean safety is put on the back burner.
If everyone knew what to do to their bodies when they get sick, casualty visits would drop, doctor visits would drop. How many doctors don't have room to have any more patients?
Barbara's followers think that Big Pharma has a lot to lose if more people start listening to alternative health voices like hers. They say that pharmaceutical companies have a vested interest in keeping natural remedies and alternative treatments out of the spotlight because they threaten their bottom line. This creates a situation where Big Pharma might try to discredit anyone who promotes alternatives to their products. By advocating for natural remedies, Barbara is offering people a different path for their healthcare. She believes that these natural options can be safer and just as effective, if not more so, than many pharmaceutical drugs. Her stance has really gotten people talking about how we balance the benefits of new drugs with the risks that come with pushing them through the approval process too quickly. Critics of Big Pharma often point to numerous examples where drugs were rushed to market and then had to be pulled because they caused serious harm. This adds weight to Barbara's arguments. She wants to show that there are other ways to stay healthy that do not involve taking potentially harmful drugs. Barbara's inspiration came from a more personal place.
Drugs never heal. They never heal. And I know with my mum, when she first started to get her pains in her hand, she went to the doctor who gave her some anti-inflammatories. And then as it got worse, then he put her on prednisones and cortisones.
When she was a teenager, her mother fell seriously ill. Traditional medicine seemed to offer little relief, and the side effects of the treatments were tough on her mom. It was during this difficult time that Barbara witnessed firsthand the potential of natural remedies. A naturopath her family consulted introduced them to treatments that seemed to make a real difference. Her mother's gradual improvement was not just a relief, it was a revelation. Seeing her mother regain her strength and health thanks to natural therapies cemented Barbara's belief in the power of naturopathy. One of her early milestones was opening her own wellness clinic. This clinic became a hub for people looking for natural remedies and personalized health plans, and it quickly gained a loyal following. Another significant moment in her career was when she published her book.
The name of my new book is Sustain Me, and it's an acronym that my daughter and I brainstormed about one day and came up with on the basic laws of health. My aim is that it's a handbook on natural remedies. So if you've got a problem, you can look it up in this book.
This book, focused on natural health and holistic living, resonated with a broad audience. It was not just a success in terms of sales. It also established Barbara as a credible voice in the natural health community. Her approachable writing style and practical advice made the book a go-to resource for many seeking alternative health solutions. As she continued to grow her practice, Barbara began speaking at various health conferences and events. These speaking engagements were crucial in expanding her influence. She was not just talking to people in her clinic anymore, she was reaching a global audience. Her talks were always packed with actionable tips and insights, making them incredibly popular. People appreciated her straightforward and easy-to-understand approach to complex health topics. Barbara's work has brought a renewed focus on preventive health measures. Her talks and workshops often emphasize the importance of diet, exercise, and mental well-being. This holistic view has inspired local community groups to organize more health-related events, cooking workshops, and mental health support groups. The ripple effect of these activities is evident, as more people are adopting healthier lifestyles and supporting each other in their wellness journeys. Overall, Barbara's work has significantly shaped local communities by promoting health awareness, encouraging informed decision-making, and sparking important health debates. While her methods and messages may be polarizing, they undeniably contribute to a more health-conscious and engaged community. In one of her lectures, Barbara shared the remarkable journey of Elizabeth Cott, who faced an incredible challenge, battling 3 tumors in her abdomen.
A friend of mine gave me a DVD of yours on how to conquer cancer. She booked into Misty Mountain Health Retreat. She came for 2 weeks.
Instead of just going the traditional route, Elizabeth decided to follow Barbara's unconventional advice and embrace a holistic approach to fighting cancer. First on the list was a major dietary change. Elizabeth cut out sugar completely from her diet. This might seem extreme, but it makes sense when you understand that cancer cells love sugar. They thrive on it like it is their favorite snack. By eliminating sugar, Elizabeth aimed to starve those pesky cells, making it harder for them to multiply and spread. But Elizabeth did not stop at just cutting out sugar. Barbara emphasized the importance of creating an alkaline environment in the body. So Elizabeth started drinking lemon juice, apple cider vinegar, and green juices regularly. These drinks are believed to help balance the body's pH levels, making it less hospitable for cancer cells. Elizabeth was sipping on these like they were the latest health craze. Another crucial part of Elizabeth's strategy was focusing on oxygen. Healthy cells need oxygen to function properly, and good oxygen flow is essential for keeping everything running smoothly. Elizabeth incorporated practices to boost her oxygen intake, ensuring her body was well oxygenated. This helped her cells function better and stay healthy. Following Barbara's advice, Elizabeth took control of her health journey with determination and a positive attitude. By cutting out sugar, drinking alkaline-promoting beverages, and boosting her oxygen levels, she crafted a plan that resonated with her and gave her a sense of empowerment. Whether or not you agree with Barbara's methods, Elizabeth's experience highlights the incredible power of personal determination and the lengths someone will go to when facing a health challenge. One thing is clear. This is a complex issue with strong arguments on both sides. It is important for all of us to approach health information with a critical mind and to do our research.
How you can be your own doctor. You see, I believe everyone should be their own doctor because only you know how you feel, only you know what you've been through, only you know how your body responds or reacts to different things.
Whether you support Barbara or not, it is crucial to consider all available information and make informed decisions about your health. Consulting with healthcare professionals and looking for evidence-based information can help you navigate the often confusing world of health advice. And remember, it is okay to ask questions and seek out different perspectives. The goal should always be to find what works best for you and your unique health needs. The O'Neill case really puts the spotlight on a tricky ethical issue. How do we protect public health while also respecting people's right to make their own choices about their health care?
I respect their choice, and what I would like is that same respect back if I choose not to have the vaccine.
On one hand, organizations like the Healthcare Complaints Commission, HCCC, are all about keeping the public safe from practitioners who might not be fully qualified and from misinformation that could be harmful. They stress that standard medical practices go through a lot of testing and follow evidence-based guidelines to ensure they are safe and effective. When people turn to unregulated or unproven alternative therapies, there is a real risk of serious health problems. That is why these regulatory bodies believe some level of control is necessary. But on the other hand, there is the issue of individual choice. People should have the freedom to make decisions about their own health, which might include looking into alternative therapies along with traditional medicine. This means taking responsibility for their choices, but it also means they need to have all the facts to make an informed decision. It is not just about having the freedom to choose, but about having access to accurate and unbiased information so they can weigh the risks and benefits properly. The tension here is obvious. How do we balance these two important aspects? Ensuring public health means sometimes putting regulations in place that might limit personal choices, but respecting individual autonomy means trusting people to make their own health decisions. The challenge is finding a middle ground where public health is protected without completely taking away personal freedom. Firstly, promoting health literacy is absolutely crucial. People need to be equipped with the knowledge and skills to critically evaluate the information they come across. There is so much health information out there, from evidence-based medicine to unproven claims. Public education campaigns can play a big role here. These campaigns can help people understand the difference between reliable, scientifically backed health advice and things that might not be as trustworthy. When people are better informed, they can make smarter decisions about their healthcare, which benefits everyone. One of the most effective ways to boost health literacy is through public education campaigns. These campaigns can play a huge role in helping people understand the difference between reliable, scientifically backed health advice and information that might not be as trustworthy. For example, A campaign might focus on teaching people how to spot the signs of a credible health source, such as checking for peer-reviewed research or endorsements from reputable health organizations. Another important aspect is fostering open dialogue between healthcare professionals and patients. When doctors and patients can communicate openly and honestly, it creates a more trusting environment. Patients feel more comfortable discussing their concerns and asking questions, and doctors can provide clearer, more personalized advice. This kind of relationship can lead to better health outcomes because patients are more likely to follow through with treatments they understand and believe in. Plus, it helps to bridge any gaps in understanding and can dispel myths and misconceptions about health and medicine. There is a lot of misinformation out there, and patients might come in with preconceived notions that could be harmful if left unaddressed. When doctors take the time to listen and explain, they can correct these misunderstandings and provide accurate information. This education is essential for empowering patients to make informed decisions about their health. Then there is the regulation of the alternative health industry. This is a big one because, without proper oversight, there is a risk of misinformation and harmful practices. Creating a regulatory framework for this industry can ensure that alternative health practices are safe and effective. It can also help in promoting responsible behavior and accurate communication. Regulations can make sure that alternative health providers are properly trained and that the treatments they offer are based on sound evidence. Imagine going to an alternative health provider and knowing that they are properly trained and certified. That peace of mind is huge. You would not have to worry about whether the treatments are based on real evidence or just some random idea. With the right regulations in place, you can have confidence that the treatments offered are backed by sound research and practices. This way, when people decide to explore alternative health options, they can do so with a higher level of safety and assurance. It is all about making sure that the choices people make about their health are well informed and protected by a solid framework of rules and standards. Overall, addressing public health concerns while respecting individual choice means looking at the bigger picture and implementing strategies that work together. It is about educating the public, building trust between doctors and patients, and ensuring that all health practices, whether conventional or alternative, are held to high standards. So why exactly was Barbara O'Neill banned? Well, it is a pretty complex situation, depending on who you are listening to. According to the authorities, they have taken action to protect the public from what they see as potentially harmful misinformation. They argue that Barbara's views on health, which often promote natural remedies over traditional medicine, could pose risks to people's well-being if followed without caution. On the flip side, Barbara and her supporters strongly believe that she has been unfairly targeted. They argue that she is simply advocating for a different approach to health, one that challenges the dominance of big pharmaceutical companies and emphasizes the benefits of natural health practices. They see her as a whistleblower against what they perceive as an overly profit-driven medical industry. The debate boils down to a clash of perspectives. Should Barbara be allowed to continue her work freely, advocating for natural health and questioning mainstream medical practices? Are the authorities justified in restricting her activities to prevent potential harm to public health? This is not just about one person or one viewpoint. It is about larger questions of freedom of speech, the role of government in regulating health information, and how individuals should make decisions about their own well-being. It is crucial for all of us to stay informed, critically evaluate information from various sources, and engage in thoughtful discussions about these important issues. What is your take on all of this? I would love to hear your thoughts and start a conversation about where you stand on these matters. Are you more inclined to support Barbara's right to promote her views? Or do you think there should be stricter regulations on the kind of health information that is shared with the public? Let's talk about it and see where our perspectives align or differ.